Hey everybody, welcome to Pitch Stop. So, I'm going to be doing a VR game, which is kind of different from what we usually do. Usually we do movies, TV shows and stuff, but this time I'm going to do a game. And I want to do a VR game about Star Wars. No, not that one. No, not that one either. No, not that one. This is a different Star Wars game. It's a different VR Star Wars game. This is going to be called The ARC Trooper. Now, for those who have seen the Star Wars Clone Wars series, you will quite enjoy this. Those who have not seen the Star Wars series, fair warning, spoilers are going to be ahead, because this is heavily based on different seasons within the show. And if you're starting it, fair warning, if you haven't seen past season 3 or 4, if you haven't finished the season, just don't watch this. It'll make life easier for you. Let's go ahead and get started. This VR game is going to bring you as a clone trooper who becomes selected to become an ARC trooper eventually. But you have to work your way up to it. So you start off just as your basic soldier. Now, this game is going to be pretty heavily based on Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. This game just came out, I think, within less than a year ago. It's got to be within like a few months ago, but VR game, World War II, Medal of Honor, very, very fun game in my opinion. You're going to see mixed reviews, but that's because that's their opinion. And this is my opinion. This is about my opinion. I think it's a great game. So it's going to be kind of based off that. It's going to have a whole lot more features, and this game's going to be a pretty big game. I would imagine it's going to be, because it would only be able to work on a computer. I would say probably roughly 100-something gigs. That's why it's only going to be able to work on a computer, because of how big this campaign and just the game itself would turn out. Now, this game is going to start off with this tutorial. It's going to be based off of Republic Commandos in a sense. You're going to see a bunch of different Star Wars games involved. But in this case, Republic Commandos, when you start off that game, you go through Kamino, like these different flashes of what the combat training was and stuff like that. You don't actually get a real tutorial. It's just kind of part of the storyline of what a Republic Commando is. But in this case, you're going to actually go through actual training in Kamino. You're going to start off with weapons training. Here you will go through a basic tutorial of the standard weapons a clone will use. For example, this list right here that you're going to see. It's probably not going to all fit on the screen, but that's okay. And then it's just going to be this giant area. Just like a shooting range that you'll see in like Clone Wars or something. And you're going to have an area where you can go and pick weapons from to test out and shoot. And then if you want to continue, if you look around, you'll see a platoon lineup and a highlighted spot that you will stand in to continue to the next spot. That's kind of how the Kamino is going to work. You're going to find your platoon, stand in the highlighted spot, and you'll continue on to the next area of training. And the next area of training is going to be vehicle training. Here you will be in a simulator for tanks, so like any gunner spot positions or even the big gun position. Basically a simulator for all these stuffs you're going to be possibly driving. So speeders. I'm kind of in debate whether or not I want to do ships, because not every trooper is a pilot. So that's why chances are it's just going to be a tank, speeder, maybe a walker. Something that you would see in a clone ride. Then, once again, line up with your platoon, and you're going to go to what you see in the Clone Wars. You see clones in a training simulator, a battle simulator, and there you're going to learn how to do platoon command. Now, you are not a platoon leader yet, so you're going to be able to make simple commands like take cover, need covering fire, enemy sighted, stuff like that, or moving towards the objective. Just simple commands to let your platoon or let the AI know, okay, character's going to be doing this. Now the AI just basically covers that area, covers it for you. But you can't tell them, like in Republic Command, is, hey, take sniper position there, take anti-armor there, stuff like that. But once you get done with Kamino, you and your platoon are going to be assigned to an Acclamator class assault ship with the 212th, which the 212th is Obi-Wan's and Commander Cody's Legion. So instead of the 501st, because you see a lot of Star Wars games that when it revolves around the Clone Wars, you're playing along with the 501st. But in this case, no, you're going to play the 212th. And you're going to start off in Season 2, Episode 5 of the Clone Wars. Because I feel like Season 2 is when it actually picks up more, personally. And Season 2, Episode 5, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ki-Adi-Mundi are actually planning an attack on Geonosis Droid Factory, on a Geonosian Droid Factory. And they think they are going to catch them off guard, but that's not the case. In this case, the Seps were actually expecting them. And the 212th, all of them were shot down. And while this is happening, while you're flying down, and I'm thinking for level changes, since the Acclamator assault ship is going to become your lobby, where you can like pick out different missions, continue campaign missions, and stuff like that. Choose to go multiplayer if there's going to be a multiplayer. Go to a co-op, which I'm thinking a co-op campaign. I love those, so I'm going to throw that in this as well. If you want to do it with your friend, they can be part of your platoon, or even be part of another platoon. But you get to go to firing ranges, all that fun stuff, do scenario practices, do quick run-throughs of the next campaign mission, just kind of get adjusted to the area you may be going into. But as you're going on Geonosis, for the loading screen to get to it, I'm thinking you hop on a gunship that's in the Acclamator class. So if you want to continue campaign, it'll have different spots highlighted throughout the Acclamator ship or wherever you're at. And you hop in it, and that's when it'll continue. So as you're flying down, you're going to be able to look out, because the blast doors are closed. If you watch the episodes, blast doors are closed. But you'll be able to look out at the hole and kind of see what's going on. And you'll hear over the intercom everything going on, too. So you see ships getting blasted out of the air, stuff like that. Pray it's not one of you who get hit. But in this episode, basically everyone gets shot down. And you'll hear over the intercom that, because you're going to be in Commander Cody's gunship, you're going to hear over the intercom, I can't remember the name of the clone commander. Jed and Aaron and Stefan and Brendan would probably know. Ki-Adi-Mundi's commander or captain calls to Commander Cody in the show and tells them that they need to put the tanks down because they're under heavy fire and they're not going to make it to where they're going. Of which they all get shot down. But Cody, so he tells you, you're sitting there with him, or standing there, and you hear him tell the pilot to land. So you commence landing sequence, you get out, and you're going to see a bunch of droids just firing, and Geonosians firing at you, so you're going to start firing back. This is where you start playing the game. And if you stick near Commander Cody, and you'll actually hear over the intercom, you will hear him talking to General Kenobi, telling him that he needs to land. And if you look carefully, you can actually see Commander Cody's ship flying, and it'll take a hit, and it'll start, go to crash, and you'll hear the whole conversation over your comms. And you're going to have to hold off like a wave attack for a certain amount of time. Now in the show, Commander Cody asks Boyle and Waxer, two of his best men, to go and save Obi-Wan and any other clones that are in that gunship. At this point, you will be given an order to take a seat, and I don't know if it's going to be, if I would have it put into the Six Walker's main gun or put you on a turret. I'm thinking a turret because that'll just be a little bit easier to protect, because you're supposed to protect Boyle and Waxer as they go to Kenobi's gunship, and you also have to escort them back. You'll hear over the comms that only we got the general and only one other clone to survive, so they're going to be on their way back. You're going to have to protect them. And once they get back, you're going to have to hold off all the waves, as many as you can. You're going to have different options. I'm thinking different options like, okay, I can hop on this. Hey, that main gunman was taken out of the Six Walker. Hop up there. Use that big gun to take out ships. Stuff like that. And you're going to have to hold off until Anakin, Kai, and Monday arrive to give support. And once that level is done, I'm not going to have you go straight to the cap or take down the droid factory, any of that stuff. Unless you guys think we should. If we should, comment down below. If not, then keep silent. Or comment anyways. So, moving on. After this mission, you're gonna get contacted by Commander Cody. So you got to go up to the main deck, go to the hologram, and you're going to talk to Commander Cody, and he's going to acknowledge your accomplishments. And at that point, you're going to be given a rank up. You're going to become a platoon leader. Now, if you think about it, you have your character. If you're going to go with like, well, that's pretty quick to become a platoon leader. Yeah, but for the sake of the game, that's just kind of how it's going to be. And you're a clone. You've been in the Clone Wars for a while. You've already done a lot of fighting. So you become a clone commander. Platoon leader. And this will give you other commands you can actually use. But the thing is, you can only command the guys in your platoon. So now you can give them the order, I want anti-armor there. We got a clone over there, toss a grenade, stuff like that. Or not a grenade, I guess it's thermodet. But the point being, you can actually give specific commands to your platoon, and only your platoon. You get to do some training for that and stuff like that. And, I mean, you're in an acclimator ship, you are in a troop carrier. So, you will be able to not only see your platoon, you'll be able to see your past platoon as well, which I think is kind of a cool thought, just because it's like, yeah, you may be in a different unit, but they're all on the same ship anyways. You're all part of the 212th. But moving on, the next mission you're going to get is from Season 3, Episode 2 of the Clone Wars. And this is where General Grievous and Ventress attack Kamino. This is going to be a level that introduces the ARC Trooper. Here you will get the chance to fight in the acclimator ship. So, really, you're going to, when you want to continue the mission, what's going to happen is you're going to get a call to head down to, you're going to go to your barracks, and then you're going to get a call to go to one of the sides, or go to like a turret or something, some sort of way to defend the ship, an anti-air cannon or whatever. You're going to go there, and this is where the campaign will start taking place, this mission. You're going to go to one side of the ship. You're going to fight off droid ships, because at this point, if you've seen the show, just a quick little reminder, General Grievous and Ventress try to attack Kamino, and what ends up happening is they're trying to take it was like a strand from the clones. They're trying to basically they want to make their own clones. I'm pretty sure I may need a fresh reminder on that. I watched a little bit of the episode recently so I could write this, because I wanted to make it as close as possible to the show. So, for example, because you're in the 212th, you're not actually on Kamino. You are up in the air, fighting in space, in orbit. Because the 501st is who's on the ground in Kamino. 212th is up there fighting, and Kenobi, that's when he's like, something's not right here. Hello there. But you're going to be fighting in this acclimator ship. Don't worry, there's plenty of action. Because, like, General Grievous is going to play friendly, even though he's supposed to get his ships destroyed. But you're going to get hit, and you're going to have to pay attention. You're going to have to listen for the command to take out those gunships. So you're going to be taking out different ships as you're going, little wave. And at a certain time, gunships are going to try and land on your ship, and you're given the order to take them out. Once you take them all out, you're going to get hit, and this is something you can't avoid. This is kind of a cutscene, build up the story. You get hit, and it blows up kind of that section you're in. Now, here comes a problem. Your men are down, you got fire everywhere. So, what's going to happen is a medic is going to be a little bit of ways trying to attend to other clones, and now you have to grab the wounded clones and pull them to safety towards the medic, so the droids can take care of the fire. That droids on the ship can take care of the fire and extinguish it while you try and get the wounded clones away. And once you get all the clones back, now mind you, some of these are guys in your platoon. The platoon usually sticks together. An ARC trooper is going to come out of one of the main halls, call to you, and you're going to be ordered to grab your platoon and head over to the other side of the ship because some gunships actually managed to land. So you're going to work your way to the other side, and you're going to rally your platoon with the new command you got, head over, grab your weapons and stuff like that, and start fighting off those droids. And I'm thinking this is going to be very based off of Battlefront, like any of these major fights like this, are going to be based off of how Battlefront 2, the new one, how there's that co-op where it's PvE. It's either defend or attack, and you got to capture these certain points before you can move forward. And that's how I'm thinking this will be. But one thing I would like to change on that is that if you are good enough to defend them at this certain pace, or even if you just want to full-on force attack all the way, then you should be able to skip. That's kind of set up. That's more of there to make it an easier way to win. But you're going to go to the other side. You're going to see another platoon fighting, and you're going to join them and try and fight off the droids. If they do reach a certain point, then you will have to fall back to another part, and you got to make sure they don't get to the bridge. And it's going to continue that until you beat them all. Now, I originally thought, like, what if, could you destroy the gunships? But then I realized, unlike Battlefront, you're not going to have droids spawn from the gunship. They're all going to just come out anyways. So I figured you just need to wipe out the droids. It's going to be a certain amount to wipe out. And if you can wipe them out in time, and you command your platoon right and all that fun stuff, then you'll be able to succeed even if you keep them in a hangar. You just got to eliminate them all. They can't reach a certain point. And after that, what do I have after that? I'm doing a lot of this off memory. This is my second time recording this, by the way. Last time, the thing I was using to record was not playing friendly with me, and I found out after I recorded it. So fun. Drilling on the ship, blah 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 blah. We can do. Aha! There we are. So, once that mission is over to hold them off, you actually get the chance to go down to Kamino. Battle's won. All good stuff. You won. You saved Kamino. You saved your homeland. That was a very terrible clone accent, but oh well. I'm thinking down here in Kamino, it'd be kind of cool to be able to explore. It's like an open map. I mean, of course, it's going to be limited because you're going to have a limited amount of space in VR. But in this case, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty open. And eventually you'll be able to come across and overhear how Echo and Fives from the 501st and from Domino Squad, RIP, Domino Squad, are getting promoted to become ARC troopers. And that is kind of how you hear a little more about the ARC trooper. Like, okay, that'd be cool. That'd be kind of cool. Now, once you hear that cutscene, then you have to get back on your ship. Once you get back on the acclimator, I haven't thought of a name for it, so that's something that will happen later. You have a bunch of new things you can do now in the lobby. You could test new weapons, new simulations, and many more like that. You got customizations I'm thinking of customizations for multiplayer, if there is one, or for co-op. You can customize how your clone looks and stuff like that. all good stuff. But the next campaign mission is going to be a heartbreaker for those of you who love this series and love a lot of the clone troopers, because this next mission is going to be on Umbara. Umbara, it's how's it described? It's a very dark planet, and it's I think it's a part of a trade route, and the Separatists had a blockade, so they're trying to take it over, take back the capital, and kind of conquer that area so they have a better trade route. And since you're in the 212th, you don't actually see what's going on with the other side, with the 501st. Obviously, you become the 212th becomes aware that Anakin, General Skywalker, was called back by the Council to go do something. I don't think Obi-Wan was there either. I think he got called back as well. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure, because otherwise he would have sensed something was going wrong. But, spoilers! But Captain Rex is now following the orders from General Corral. And in 212th, they have their mission. I'm pretty sure Commander Cody's there too. You're all trying to send a frontal base so you can make your main attack on the capital. That's how this mission is going to start off. You're going to land. It's going to be dark. You're going to have to put on your night vision and start taking down enemies in this dark planet and working your way up to make a frontal camp to make a final assault on the capital. And then, once you make that established base, you're going to get a message from the 501st, specifically General Corell, that the enemy has been wearing clone armor. To be aware of that, and you're going to be your platoon and another platoon. Now, this isn't actually following the story exactly, because if I remember correctly, only one platoon of the 212th went to go hunt down these enemies wearing clone armor. But for the sake of this game, to kind of build up the story, you're going to be another platoon that's going with. So you guys go and hunt to find out where these clones are at, and you're going to come up against the 501st clones, and you guys are going to start fighting. And as you're fighting, you'll actually, after a certain amount of time, you're going to hear in the distance Captain Rex yelling that you're all clones. You'll be able to see him taking off the helmet as he's saying, "Stop firing, we're all clones." You're going to see him tackle one of the 212th clones, turn around, take off the helmet, and say, "We're all clones, stop firing." At this point, you'll stop firing. Complete ceasefire. And this is following the story pretty accurately right now. As you're trying, looking at the bodies, making sure there's any survivors, that's what you're going to be given order to, or part of your objective. Especially since you're a platoon leader yourself, you're going to be taking a look, making sure all your men are okay. And you're going to eventually come across Rex, another clone, and I don't remember who was with Rex. But you're going to come across Waxer sitting there, wounded. And Waxer was the other platoon leader you're with. I mean, he's the other platoon. And you're going to see all the clowns. Oh no, the clowns. The clones of clowns. It's Joker's favorite dream. No, you're going to see a bunch of clones. Wow. Clones looking around. I'm never going to hear the end of this either. The clones looking at each other, upset, angry about what happened, because they were also given orders. And eventually, you're going to see a line up, and you're going to be able to step up into it, and Captain Rex is going to give his little speech that you see in the show, and say something like, if you want to step out, you can, but then all of you step forward. And I think that at this point, you get a choice. Do you want to step forward or not? And I feel like, I don't know what will happen, actually. Now I think about it. No, you're just going to step forward. You're going to be forced to. I don't care. You're going to be forced to step forward. And now you're going to go arrest General Corral. Now here's going to be the first boss fight. Like major boss fight. Because once again, this is like one of the few parts that's going to be a little off from the episode. So this boss fight begins when you go in and surround General Corral. And Captain Rex says he's under arrest. You're all going to be pointing your guns at him in a circle. And the fight begins when he force pushes everyone back. Now, he cut up a lot of the clones. If I remember correctly, only like two or three survived that fight in his little command tower. But you're gonna survive. Obviously, you're a protagonist. You need to survive. But you gotta lower his health enough to the next part where he jumps out the window, and then you're gonna go chase after him into the forest. Now you're gonna be with Captain Rex, since that's where he actually loses the fight, and is with Captain Rex. You're gonna be with him. You're gonna hear over the intercoms a bunch of clones getting attacked and killed by General Corral, and then you're gonna see him show up, and you gotta lower his health. He'll jump back in the shadows like he does. He'll pop back out, and you gotta keep fighting him and lowering him down. And eventually, you're gonna try and back him into one of those monster plants that are on that planet, and the monster plant's gonna grab him, slam him down, and then you're gonna see. I think his name was Tup. He's gonna stun him, and after that, now here's how this is gonna go, because you still gotta capture the capital. I'm actually gonna have you capture the capital here, since it's an upsetting moment to have to watch so many clones die by General Corral. Everyone wants to just see General Corral get arrested. And so you do that, and then you meet up with Commander Cody, and you do another wave assault, capture the command post kind of thing. This is what I was talking about earlier. How if you really wanted to, and you're really skilled enough, you can just skip those like frontal command posts and just book it right to the end if you wanted to. You gotta be freaking good though. But like the co-op in Battlefront 2, you gotta do those. You're gonna be doing those wave things. And after that, you read Commander Cody, Rex, and Echo, who Echo is, once again, an ARC Trooper. They're going to meet up with you after the battle and say they're impressed with your skill and your leadership abilities, and they would like you to consider becoming an ARC Trooper. And at this point, you will accept, since the whole game is about becoming an ARC Trooper. You got no choice. You're a soldier. Good soldiers follow orders. And this actually opens up your commanding abilities, which is kind of cool, because now you can command almost any clone trooper, not just your platoon. You can control anyone, like you with me, kind of thing. And you'll be able to rally up a bunch of soldiers. And now, due to the sake of time, what am I at right now? Almost a half hour. Then again, I goofed up quite a bit, so a lot of it's going to be cut. But to save time, at this point, as an ARC Trooper, you get to choose specific missions that you want to do. You can do missions that are very specific to ARC Troopers, or you can do battles. So I'm thinking that it's going to follow the seasons. You're going to have either a level per season or 2 levels per season that follow the series up to Order 66. I'm thinking it ends as you get the order, execute Order 66. And there could be DLC. I didn't plan that far ahead, but I'm thinking there's a lot to do with the ARC Trooper, but I just wanted to at least do the pitch up to becoming an ARC Trooper. And you get special weapons, you get to use the Commando Blaster. I think it's the D something. But you get to use one of those blasters. You get to use all sorts of stuff. And when you go to do those missions, you can choose what kind of clone troopers you want with you to go with you and stuff like that. And I think as a fun little extra, you also get to choose Republic Commando Delta Squad with you, come with you as well. You can choose the Bad Batch. There's a lot you could do with it, but this is what I wanted to have in there specifically, and that will be it. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other thoughts, I'm excited to see what the other guys are thinking, but comment down below. I'd like to hear what you guys got. And see you in the discussion.
Welcome to the discussion portion of the pitch stop. Welcome to pitch stop discussion. So I just had my pitch stop given. Don't mind the edits. I had a little fun. But now I'm excited to hear what these guys have to say and just hear them trash talk me. Now, I swear, if I get a 1 star, I accept my fate. So what you guys got? What do you guys think?
Well, this was a 1-star pitch, I gotta say.
Already right off the bat. That's too bad, Robert. Better luck next time. Come back with something better.
0 stars.
Rip up the script, throw it away.
You got to push yourself to get that 0-star pitch next time.
I don't
Watch next
understand
time.
what
I'm gonna do it.
Clowns have to do with Star Wars.
See,
The Clown Wars.
I was upset there weren't more clowns. This is what's
Wait.
been missing.
Did I say clowns?
You did. And you said
No,
another
you're
thing, let
messing
you
with me.
do
I did not say clowns. I said clones with an accent. There's a difference.
The Clown War.
The clown wars. Joker, General Joker.
You said it like once or twice. You're like, the clown.
Well, I was kind of clowning around, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, okay, what you guys really think?
All right. In all seriousness, this would actually be a game that I would want to play. As somebody who, admittedly, is not the biggest fan of Star Wars, you made a good pitch to me of like why I would want to play through those specific missions and do those things. As somebody who,
You're not the biggest fan of Star Wars?
yes, exactly, I hate Star Wars.
That's
Thank you for
what you
letting me
said.
No, did I say Star Wars?
Yeah, you said
Oh.
Star
Yeah,
Wars.
you said
I'm
Star
not the
Wars.
biggest fan of
I
Star
am so sorry. I meant to say I'm not the biggest fan of the Clone Wars series.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I love Star Wars. It's just Clone Wars didn't always do it for me, but a lot of the time it did. And for me, you distilled a lot of what I did like about it into these different missions that we would have to go through, and then there's that final. Is there a better version of nail in the coffin? Final thing that just made me get on board with this, saying, yeah, you're going through the Umbara arc. You have to fight Hong Krell, and how awesome but also horrifying that would be. And yeah, you kind of did a good job of selling this, not just selling the Clone Wars to somebody who's not the biggest fan of it, selling the experience of being there, seeing it, doing it to somebody who's not the biggest fan of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really wanted to bring in the Umbara arc because I was like, you need to be able to do something that makes you worthy of an ARC trooper.
Right.
And I was like, taking down General Corella. Everyone hates him. Why not?
Yeah, that'd be pretty great. I really liked it. I really liked the Clone Wars. Even the bad ones, I kind of like them.
The
So
first
for me,
season?
yeah, even the first season. I mean, they have the Battle of Ryloth, which I'm not sure if the 212th is part of that one, but your story doesn't even start until the second Battle of Geonosis, which I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, that would work, and it even tricked people who aren't like hardcore fans into thinking it was the first battle because they wouldn't know any better. So, I mean, I think it'd work no matter what you do with that. And I guess part of my question for where this game goes is like, what are the progressions of enemies? Are they just battle droids, super battle droids, droidicas, all those? But are there going to be commandos? Are there going to be Trandoshans? I'm kind of thinking about the Republic Commando game that I just replayed recently. So what were you thinking for that, Robert?
So yeah, you'd kind of start off because in that Battle of Geonosis, you do fight a lot of Geonosians and droids.
Okay, gotcha.
So that'd be kind of a good bring in. And then, so yeah, the second mission, you get to experience what's like in the Clone Wars to fight on an Acclimator class ship. So it is a new, but I figured that would be a good time to introduce super battle droids because you're not really going to fight them that much up close and personal on Geonosis because most of the time you're taking taking shots with your blaster, hop up on a gun. It's easy to mow down super battle droids that way. But
Okay.
and
Cool.
then on Umbara, you're gonna fight the aliens.
Oh yeah,
Because-
the citizens,
Mm.
the locals.
Mhm.
But they will be like mini bosses because their technology seems to be so far advanced.
Oh yeah, it's
Not
gonna be a new
advanced,
experience
at
too because you gotta
least.
wear.
Like branched out in a separate way from the galaxy, just because they are kind of isolated.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like, it's not a perfect parallel, but it's kind of like Wakanda in the MCU.
Kinda, yeah.
Because they're separated, things have gone a different way. It happens in Wakanda that it's a much, much better advanced way, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is different.
It's gonna throw everyone off too because you're gonna have to wear night vision goggles.
Mm.
And then it'll be even worse when you're fighting the 501st. I think that mission should last definitely longer than it did in the show
Oh yeah,
because
Yeah.
it'd be hard to differentiate between the two different clone battalions.
Right.
You might accidentally kill your own guys, which you're doing anyway. But
you're killing members of your
Your own-
legion.
yeah,
They were constrained by the the limits of a 22-minute episode and still trying to tell a story, not having the whole battle
Yeah.
take up the 22 minutes.
yeah.
But a game would be a good opportunity to start fleshing that out.
And that was my thoughts. And that'd be a good way to kind of get to the boss battle.
Right.
Mm. Yeah, that'd be cool. I have a suggestion for some DLC though. So you know how you're on Battle of Geonosis and you're just kind of doing that first part, the landing at Point Rain when they're surrounded by the droids, right?
So you're gonna say again, you were like going Matrix
It was
on me,
weird
glitching
cutting
out.
Oh, so for the Geonosis battle, you just did the first part of it, right? Just where they're surrounded by the droids. Okay, so for the DLC, I would do a zombie mission, like a Geonosian zombie mission.
Ooh.
That's what I would do. Where
That'd
you're
be
in the
cool.
caves.
Well, it's funny because I did mention, I think I mentioned in there, I wanted to do a multiplayer and like
Yeah.
co-op stuff. That would also be a really cool multiplayer co-op mission to do.
Yeah,
Like Call of Duty has special ops.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And going off of what
So
Brendan said of
that's pretty-
DLC
I do like that.
ideas, something you mentioned, Robert, of Order 66. As soon as you mentioned that, I got flashbacks to the Mr. Freeze boss battle in Arkham City. Like, could you imagine you and your squad have to take down a Jedi, but you're telling your squad like, hey, you sniper, do this. Hey, you throw a grenade. But then every time you use a tactic like that, the Jedi will wise up to that tactic and kill that clone trooper. So you're whittling down your platoon just to try and get this one Jedi down, and it forces you to think on your feet and use different tactics to eventually take him down.
Show why you became an ARC trooper.
Right. You earned it.
That would be cool.
Ooh. Another thing I thought of when I was listening to it was when you start out as a regular clone trooper and you can't command anyone or anything, all you have is just like a gun, maybe a thermal detonator. And then as you slowly progress, you start getting more gadgets, more grenades, maybe a what do they call it? A droid popper, that kills the droids with electricity.
EMP?
First.
Yeah. They have it in the Clone Wars. I think they call it droid popper.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so you start slowly getting
I
better
did have that.
weapons.
Yeah, I did have that thought because I was thinking that's what's awesome about the armory and the lobby area within the ship is you can go down there and test out different weapons and new weapons. But I do like that. I never thought about them actually getting the gear.
Right, because they're not going to give the best gear to the basic soldier, but they will give it to an ARC
A
trooper.
reg.
Yeah, a reg. I mean, they're all regs technically.
Yeah,
I have
that's
one
true.
question.
To crosshair, they are. Yes, Stephen.
So
Yeah.
I was just wondering who you were thinking about for the voice work on this. Because I see advantages to either using Tamara Morrison or D. Bradley Baker. D. Bradley Baker would be good because he's already done it and he's has the experience voicing the different characters. But in my opinion, Tamara Morrison has a cooler voice. So I was just wondering if you were gonna reuse the Clone Wars cast or try to get other people or to get the original people. What was the thought process there?
Well, I think it kind of depends on the goal of what I want to do. So like it depends on whoever would make this game, which I don't think I actually said in the pitch stop who I'd want to make the game, did I?
No.
Okay, well, I'm Respawn. I want them to be the ones to make this game. But
Okay.
to answer your question, Stefan, my whole hope, because VR is supposed to get you super immersed in wherever you're in, and I figure if I'm going to Clone Wars, I kind of would want yeah, Bradley.
D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah, I want the Star Wars Clone Wars cast because I want people to be immersed in the cartoon.
Right. Yeah. I
So
can
still
see
kind
that.
of
No,
have
I
a cartoon feel while playing.
Yeah, I could see either one of them, especially with Tamara Morrison really coming back and being active in Star Wars recently. But with what you're going for of really trying to put you into the show, I would understand going with Baker instead.
Would that mean that the graphics would reflect more of the Clone Wars, or would it reflect Battlefront 2, where it's more closer to the movies?
I go with a kind of a mixture. Actually, kind of like Bad Batch.
Okay, so it's still stylized. It's not going for the uber realistic look, but it is still meant to be, a little more realistic.
Well, because the thing is though, because it's a VR game, it's going to be rated differently than a movie. So if I go realistic, it's going to make it like closer to rated M.
Yeah, that Ubar section that skirt the edge of M.
So if I go with the cartoony look, it's going to be less. It's going to be like rated T.
Yeah.
Which is kind of my hope because you would want to sell the game to a bunch of people. Granted, kids play rated M games anyways, but this way even the parents will be like, "Oh, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, that's cool. Yeah, sure. Here you go, little Timmy." And then watch on the screen like they're killing a lot of things, and then the recruiters will find them. But that's another story for their own problems. But yeah, thank you, Stefan. That was a good question. And I'm thinking, yeah, if Respawn makes the game, they probably would do the same thing because they're really into making references and continuity.
Yeah, I mean, look at Jedi Fallen Order.
Mhm.
That has a lot of references. With especially with Clone Wars, they seem to like that lore as well.
Right.
With the Night Sisters and Obi-Wan's holocron message. I guess that's from Rebels.
Well,
But
I mean,
like
I
it's
think
still
it's
from that.
deleted scene of Revenge of the Sith. I mean, the audio is taken
Yeah.
from Rebels, but
Yeah, exactly. Like they're not afraid to bring in those references.
No.
So
Mhm.
I think that would be a good option. Respawn.
And I
mean,
believe
Yeah.
Respawn did make a VR game. Let me look it up. Did they make?
I know they
Yeah,
made Jedi
okay.
Fallen Order.
Respawn did make because I said how Medal of Honor,
game studio as well.
the Medal of Honor VR game that I kind of based this game off of. They actually made that one. So
That's cool.
yeah, that's probably why I liked it so much. Because it was
Curious, why
Respawn.
did you choose? Is it the 512?
212.
212.
212. Why did you choose that particular platoon or whatever
Legion.
it's called? Legion, yeah. Because I know a lot of people like the 501st and all that. And I would be interested, but I'm just wondering why.
So it's funny because I was trying to think of if I wanted to do a 501st, but now I was like, I kind of want to branch out because so many Star Wars games based around clones are done around the 501st, especially since they were like a huge part in overthrowing the Jedi and creating the Empire. So I kind of wanted to get the 212th the shine that it has, just because they were major with fighting with Obi-Wan. Plus, like for the Battle of Kamino, due to like the show, the 212th wasn't even down in Kamino. So I kind of want to show that side of the story.
Right. Like, the 212, they're not to be underestimated. There's a reason they were sent to take down Grievous on Utapau. it wasn't until later that canon said, oh, the 501st was off on Mandalore and also split up doing this, but originally it was just 212th is some of the best we've got. We're sending them to Utapau. So it was good to kind of see them in the spotlight a little more.
And plus, working with General Kenobi, that's kind of a cool thing in my opinion. Mostly because I like Obi-Wan a lot. Because I mean, Ewan McGregor, guys. If you're a Star Wars fan, then you know what I'm saying.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
Is it because of Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is.
He can make funny lines every now and then, like
Mhm.
in his big old war meetings with his battalion, with his legion. He'll just, he'll be Obi-Wan, and people will love that, because
Now,
he's Obi-Wan.
I do have a question for you guys. What? Now, I'm thinking, because in some of these games, even the NPCs, they have names. Like if you look at them, it'll highlight, give a name above. Now, would you actually give names to each clone trooper that you look over? Like Call of Duty, they have that. Every person has a name. Or would you give them like a clone number? Like T7553 something.
I'd call them clown number 1, clown number 2, and so on and so forth.
The Clown Squadron.
They all have breakfast noses. They all get. It's like, how many clones can you fit into an AT-ET or whatever it is?
I mean, if the 501st can paint themselves to look like Ahsoka, I don't see why a different legion couldn't paint themselves to look like clowns.
Is it 212th like specific to Anakin? So they're just wearing clown helmet just to make fun of Anakin. It was all being pushed from Obi-Wan.
That's a Obi-Wan.
See, hey, that could also fall in the customization. Just saying, because I do have a customization setting in there.
You might be able to. I just thought of this. You might be able to have some sort of relationship with your squadron as you become a leader, and you can decide what to say. You can either call them by their nickname, like how the clones have nicknames, and that may have some indirect consequence on how they act, rather than if you act more like Krell and just call them by their numbers, and just very dry with them. Hey, CT5262, get over there. Rather than, hey, Kix, can you go? Get over there and shoot that clinker down.
They kind of do something similar in the Fire Emblem games, where if you build up relationships with characters, or if they, if you have two different characters start building relationships with each other, then in battle, if they're near each other and like they're about to die, then they'll be a little more likely to hold on to that last bit of life, because they're like, no, I don't want to die. I've got my friend here. I'm going to hold on for them. Or, they'll be more accurate, or they'll hit a little harder, just things like that. So that could be a really cool gameplay element.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking in the lobby, since you're going to see your troops walking around, that could also affect your relationship with them having dialogue in the lobby area. Because I really wanted an interactive lobby, and I figured an Acclamator assault ship would work out really. That's why I texted you, Jed, asking about that. Because like say when you go into that battle on Bara, where you start fighting the other clones, you're going to be more devastated if one of your guys get killed. If you actually know their name and stuff, nickname.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, and you could have a disadvantage if people are too friendly with each other. Like if one of your soldiers gets shot and it's obvious he's going to die.
It's true. Maybe they get too attached. They're less likely to follow orders if their friend is hurt.
Right. Yeah. They grab their friend and start dragging him off the battlefield, and all of a sudden you're two guys short.
By chance,
hey,
are you thinking of Echo and Fives? Because that's what made me think of that. And I was like, oh, ow.
Yeah. You mean when Echo dies the first time?
Yeah. Yeah, in the prison where he gets blown up, and Rex has to pull.
Yeah,
pull Fives back.
Yeah, Fives is really beat up about that. Yeah, pretty much like that. All of a sudden, you're two guys down because one guy got shot. So like you could have some happy medium where you're strict with them, but you're also you're their friend as well. And that's where you want to be.
Right.
But if you go too far one way or the other, then they start disobeying you, or or they start disobeying you because you're
Right.
too strict and they think you're
There's
pro.
a reason why the military has actual rules in place about, associating with people of different ranks. You don't want to get too friendly because people might start thinking that they're more important than they are, or that
They can
they
get favors.
they maybe don't have to obey certain orders, or maybe they have a special relationship that'll help get them certain benefits or something.
Hmm.
And I know that like when I was down in Texas serving on a military base, that was an issue in some wards. Just like oh, I'm a private, and my home teaching companion is like a lieutenant. I don't know. How do we go about this? Just because there were those rules.
Hmm.
So that could be an interesting thing to see play out in person in a game.
That would be cool. And like, if you are too strict, if you're telling them to do stuff that will get them killed
Right.
time after time after time, they might at one point. I think it'd be hilarious if they just turn on you and just shoot you dead.
Brendan, I could see you doing that in the game just to see it. Like, I want to try this.
Exactly.
You have to start from scratch from
A lot
there.
of
Once you're
it's
dead,
gotta
you're
be
dead.
Led by example. So if you are willing to pull your men out of the fire, then maybe that inspires the other troops that hope to win to do stuff. And if
I think
you're
a good
against the troops, they could end up mistreating you or mistreating each other. So all those aspects make for an interesting story, starting where you have to take the orders to giving the orders, and how well can you do it.
Yeah.
Will they listen, or will they receive those orders?
Yeah,
It depends on your leadership.
it's a good way to kind of incorporate the gameplay, the story, the themes all into one thing at once.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could have a really good introduction and one of the levels of how that works.
Hmm.
Like, you get to see, you get given opportunities to raise that level up, and you'll actually be able to see it. Should we wrap it up, or you guys got anything more you want to say?
That's good. I think this would be a heck of a fun game. Honestly, I think it sounds like Republic Commandos on steroids. Like an improved version of it. Not necessarily a sequel because it's not a sequel,
Right.
but just like an
Like a
improved.
spiritual sequel.
Hmm.
This really would do a great job of kind of showing off the full limits of next gen tech. It kind of reminded me of Half-Life Alyx, where it's a full AAA title but in VR. But now this is saying, I don't know, this is going to be a full VR experience, but instead of like we're going through hallways and weird rooms and stuff like in Half-Life Alyx, we're going to different worlds and doing all this cool stuff. And you really only would be able to do that on these next gen consoles that they've got out. So
Yeah.
good way to take advantage of all that power.
Yeah, that's true. And this would have to be a very big download. It's got to be close to, maybe with all the stuff that we even put in just recently, close to 130 gigs.
Beautiful.
It's amazing. I would buy a second hard drive just for that. Yeah, the download will be terrible. Hey, it's been a week. Can I finally play my game? Stefan, do you have something you want to say?
Just to wrap it up, I would say, I'm not a big gamer, but I did play Battlefront 2 in my when I was 12 or whatever.
Halcyon days of years gone by.
Yes, back in the good old days, because I'm old enough to say that now. And anyway, so it just reminded me of Battlefront, how you're following Legion and kind of like the 501st in Battlefront 2, where you basically go from day one at Geonosis all the way even to the Empire. But this actually has a story to follow in that the Clone Wars is your reference material. I think that's brilliant, and it's interesting to follow a different Legion rather than the 501st. Overall, that's definitely a game that I think would sell. Come into being. Those are my final thoughts.
So can you say that last line one more time? You cut out there for a second.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I was at which part?
The last sentence.
It's a game that would sell well. I think it could come into being. Like people would buy this game. I think they'd be,
Oh, okay.
especially Star Wars fans.
Oh, I'd buy this in a
We
heartbeat.
like the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah.
Except me, but I'm the minority.
Except him, but somebody's gotta like the sequels.
True.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, thank you for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. And if you like what you saw, comment down below what you would add for DLC or what you would add to the game. And if you could like and subscribe and ring that bell, that would be wonderful as well. And if you could please share it with your friends. Heck, if we share it enough, Respawn might just be like, yeah, sure, we'll make the game.
Then they'll pay you.
And maybe they'll pay, or they could just give me the game for free. I'll take that. But yes, thank you. And we will catch you next time. Do I have an announcement? No, I didn't. No. Right? We're good?
We're good. I'm
Okay.
good.
Bye!
Bye.